These are the 5 things that we usually do without even realizing that they can sabotage the decisions we make, how we connect with other people, and how any situation ends up affecting our life. And the first one is worrying. Now, it's not really practical or even normal to be completely worry-free, because it's one of the things that motivates us to act, to show up, and do things in our life. Like how to pay your bills. That can motivate you to show up for work even when it's not your dream job. Or worrying about our weight can motivate us to make more healthier choices for dinner than pizza. And there's a productive way and an unhealthy way to worry. And the problem arises when we go about it all wrong, because then it can leave us either undecided and inactive, or we can end up making all the wrong choices, lowering our idea of what we think we can and cannot do. That leads to low self-esteem, doubting our instincts, our decisions, our capabilities, which then again becomes something we worry about, like, I really want to do that, but what if I mess up? The better option is to worry productively. Set a goal to worry towards, what you do want instead of what you don't want, or why couldn't things be different, and think it through, but with an intention to come up with an action plan, like, if this happens, then I will do that. And some of our worries can even be totally avoided because they are created by the next habit on our list that can cause low self-esteem. It's usually easier to say yes and think it through later than to say no straight up, right? Because it can help us avoid a lot of confrontations or uncomfortable situations. And there's always the option to say no with an excuse later. And it does work in some situations, but it becomes a problem when we start doing this instinctively, because that then means that we either end up with too many commitments, too much to handle, or we go back on our word so many times that it starts to hurt our credibility. And not being able to keep our commitments, our promises, hurts our relationship with people. You won't think much of a person who keeps failing to show up, would you? And being on the receiving end of this hurts how we feel about ourselves. It can cause low self-esteem. The better option is to say yes intentionally, only when you know you can follow it through. A little discomfort in the short run, or hurt a valued relationship. Which one would you rather avoid? And being clear about your priorities is a very big help when you want to say no confidently without guilt and get people to respect that decision. But what when people get offended with that and say things like, why do you have to be so difficult all the time? Or why not? I thought you would be okay with that. Things like that can make you feel bad, like we are falling short, doing something wrong, or being selfish. But knowing that you're saying no for the right reasons, yet letting the other person's reactions touch a chord, is giving them too much power over what we do with our time and what we choose. And giving up that kind of power can hurt how we feel about ourselves. It encourages low self-esteem. And so it's important to remember that we make sense of the world through our own individual filters, like modalities, cognitive biases, or distortions. And if so, someone doesn't like what you say or do, but you think it's the right thing to do, it doesn't reflect anything on you. It doesn't say anything about you, because it just shows how that person is interpreting the situation. And this is one of the most powerful ideas that can stop anything from hurting our self-worth, from making us feel bad about the wrong things. But it's not just other people who can make us feel this way, is it? How about when we see someone's life update on the social media and it kind of makes us feel dissatisfied in our own life? Because that's one of the clinically identified reasons for low self-esteem and some mental health issues that it eventually causes. See, comparison is normal human nature. That's how we are wired, because we use it to know how far we have come, where do we want to go, get motivated to act, set goals in life. Psychologists call this social comparison theory, and it's about how we determine our social and our personal worth depending on how we stack up against others. But if someone's achievements or lifestyle is only making us feel dissatisfied with our own life, then that's a problem. Comparison can actually be good if it's making us feel motivated to do things differently, to spend more time with our family, to appreciate more the little things in life, because it's our intention that makes all the difference. Are we focused more on the possibilities that comparison shows, or is it the things that we don't have? Because that's also something we are programmed to do. And as the fifth habit, that can cause low self-esteem. We remember criticism more than compliments, right? Have you ever fixated on a slip up or a mistake, thinking and rethinking about it? It's because of what's called the negativity bias. We remember negative things more than the good ones. It's because it is those that could have hurt us, and being aware of these negative things helped us humans to avoid them and survive this long. But that becomes a problem when instead of learning from the mistakes and letting them go, we start using them as notches to measure our capabilities, our self-worth against, because that then creates a very skewed idea of very unhelpful beliefs about what we think we can or cannot do, and that really hurts how we feel about ourselves, causes low self-esteem. It creates a fear of failure, and so we end up pulling back from a lot of promising opportunities in life. What helps instead is to be careful in how we look at any situation. Instead of identifying with the mistake like I'm such a mess, create distance and possibility of change by saying I messed up. I know it doesn't feel powerful enough to make you feel any different, but it's a very effective NLP technique that taps into the subconscious mind, and so it works really well. And these other techniques too shown in this video work really well to boost self-esteem so that we stop holding back and have more fulfilling life experiences. I hope you found this video helpful. Take care, and I'll meet you in the next video.